Well, good evening everybody. As Chris said, my name's Neil Peters and I am the Community Engagement Officer for the Environment First team at Eastbourne Borough Council. I've been in this role for about 2 years, 2 months, and imagine my surprise when I found out that I was the CEO, the Community Engagement Officer. So somebody decided to shove a recycling in there as well. So I am now the Community and Recycling Engagement Officer for the Environment First team at Lewes District and Eastbourne Borough Council. I think the longest job title in the world, and I have business cards here to prove it. Okay. The talk will be today, Eastbourne and our part in recycling. Chris has asked me to make sure that you're all aware that we are in this together. It's not just the council that are doing the recycling. You are the people that are helping us here. The Environment First team, who are we? Well, we are the team that look after the rubbish, the waste, the recycling within the town. We empty the litter bins, we empty the dog fouling bins, we sweep our streets, we keep our events clean and tidy, and we visit all of your properties every week to pick up either your recycling, your household waste, or if you've opted in, your green garden waste. To do this, there is about 90 of us at the yard. We've got a head of service, we've got two HR people, we have an accountant, we have me, we have Walter, who's the contracts manager, we have 2 supervisors, 2 charge hands, and 3 admin staff. That's quite a chunk out of our 90 people so far. We also have 2 mechanics that look after our fleet. We then have 8 barrels that go round sweeping the streets, 8 lads on the barrels, 3 of them dedicated to the seafront, 1 of them dedicated to the town centre, the rest of them spread around the place. Then we've got our clinical waste team. So there's 2 people out there collecting the clinical waste, which leaves about 63, 64 people to pick up the refuse, the recycling, and the garden waste. They service 110,000 people within the Borough of Eastbourne, 44,000 properties, and they do that in 5 days. If you've got 9 refuse trucks going around 44,000 properties, that's over 1,000 properties per truck per day. The reason I'm giving you all these statistics, that when I say, if we miss your bin, we apologise. It is not personal. Okay? If we miss your bin 3 times in a row, there's something wrong. But, yeah, things happen. We do miss bins, there is a tight schedule. And they're out in all weathers, apart from thick snow. They are out in the rain, in the sunshine, in the cold and in the hot. Extreme weather conditions like we've had last year in the heat, they had to start earlier to finish earlier, and we had to make sure they had plenty of water with them at all times. I certainly wouldn't have liked to have been working, pulling bins up and down the street in that hot weather. Okay, so when I first started this talk, and it was about recycling and recycling only, and people used to say to me, well, everything goes to landfill. I had to stop there. Nothing that we pick up from your curbside, nothing at all, goes to landfill. All of your household waste will go to the Energy Reclaim Facility in Newhaven, where it is run by Veolia, and the waste is turned into energy. It is incinerated, turned into energy, and fed back into the national grid. And before anybody asks, no, I can't tell you how much energy goes back into the national grid. Veolia will be able to you'll be able to go online, on site. East Sussex County Council run this facility. Veolia run it for East Sussex County Council. So I can't tell you how much energy they put in there, and I'm sure it changes with the amount of rubbish that they get on a weekly basis. Now, look at this beautiful picture. This happens every 2 weeks. I know that because that's outside my house. The operatives come along, they line all the recycling bins up, the truck backs up into, I live in a cul-de-sac, truck backs up, they empty all the bins, those bins are returned to my drive. Not in exactly the same place as where I left them, but they are returned to my drive. That, up until that point, up until these bins are picked up, the recycling within those bins is your responsibility. Once we have collected it, it then becomes our responsibility. Okay? So, if your bin gets blown over by the wind and the recycling's all down the road, can we please ask you to pick it back up and put it back in your own bin, rather than phone up and say the wind blew me bin over, come and clean me recycling. Okay. Once this truck is full up with recycling, it is taken to a holding station. And the transfer station, the holding station, is in between Polegate and Helsham on the A27. Okay? These trucks will go there, they will empty their recycling onto the ground here. Doesn't look like recycling there, does it? Just looks like a pile of rubbish. And those at that site, this recycling will be checked for anything that is a contaminant or an item that is undesirable. There are 5 main items that we collect: paper, cardboard, glass, metal, plastic. Okay? Not, unfortunately, wood, soft furnishings, cuddly toys, garden waste, or, if you have a look around here, used nappies. Now, I mention these 5 items because they are the most common contaminant within our recycling. Eastbourne Borough Council have a really good contamination rate. It is nowhere near as high as some parts of the country. It is not the best in the area, but it is nowhere near as high as some parts of the country. We do not want it to slip. What you put into your recycling is as important as what you shouldn't put into your recycling. Yeah. So, cuddly toys, textiles, soft furnishing, wood, garden waste, nappies. We also get a lot of food ends up in our recycling. Please excuse me. Yeah, people will see that they've taken something out of the fridge. It is past its sell-by date. It's in a plastic food tray. It goes straight into the recycling because it's in the plastic food tray. No, thank you. Empty it out into your bin, and then wash, rinse off your food residue and put it into your recycling. We ask that all containers that have held food, for them to be rinsed out before they're put into the recycling. We ask everything. So your meat trays, just rinse them in the water, drain them off before they go into your recycling. You don't have to put them in the dishwasher. I heard somebody the other week say, oh, my wife puts all the cans into the dishwasher. You don't need to. You just need to wash out the residue from your food. For several reasons, really, and we'll get onto one of them in a minute. The items are man-handled, and people will be collecting, moving, and dealing with the recycling that gets your recycling that's thrown away. 2 weeks collections. If you put in a tin of beans that's half full, then you're going to get your vermin and your flies and everything else wanting to go and have a look in your bin because they can smell it. So if you don't have food within your bin, you will not have issues with smells or vermin or flies and every other bits like that, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Lots of nods. Brilliant. When our trucks go into these areas, into this transfer station, the registration of the truck is noted. We know now exactly where this recycling has come from, or what area of the town, and if there's too much contamination in there, we know where to direct our efforts to stop the contamination coming along. Many years ago, before we had a green bin at everybody's house, we had bring sites or recycling centres across the town. Many of you will remember them. There was one at the bottom of the avenue. Waitrose had one up until recently, as does Sainsbury's, where you could take your recycling when you go shopping, put your stuff into the bins, go do your shopping, and then the next week take your recycling back. We learnt that the main areas for our contamination, due to this method, we learnt that the main contaminations were from those bring sites, those recycling centres. There was too much contamination. Too many people were taking advantage of the fact that there was a big bin there, pulling up with their transit van, opening the side door, throwing away 3 toilets that they'd just taken out from a block of flats down the road. It is wrong. Fly tipping was a real issue within the recycling, so we had to get rid of those on-street bring sites. Lots of people have asked me, why do we get rid of them? I used to like them, I enjoyed it, they were just down the end of the road. Unfortunately, they weren't doing our figures very much good. Once this lot has been checked and looked at, this is all loaded onto a big lorry, articulated lorry now, and taken to the Viridor, the Viridor's the name of the firm, Material Recovery Facility up in Eridge, on the banks of the River Thames, Crayford, if you like, up on the banks of the River Thames, where again, a sample load of about 65 kilograms is checked by technicians to see if there's too much contamination. If there is, that whole lorry load will be rejected and it will have to go to energy reclaim. Like I say, we've got good contamination rates in this town. Our recycling isn't rejected. And then it's unloaded at Viridor onto conveyor belts and through the pre-sort chamber where these operatives will be taking out by hand, sorting by hand, the larger materials, your larger cardboards, your plastics, items that they see that shouldn't be there. If there's a dead animal by chance that have been sorted through. I'm sorry, I see somebody, you pulling a little face there. Occasionally we get rats and squirrels and seagulls and various other things put into the bins. Unfortunately, some bins will have to be kept on the street or near where people can put dead animals in. Then your recycling goes into a large trommel, a rotating trommel with holes in it, and there's an airflow running down the middle of that. What this does is it churns the recycling up. Anything that is small will drop through these holes onto another conveyor belt and be removed to the smalls room, as they call it, for hand sorting in this area. When I mention this, people say to me, you can't recycle anything smaller than a credit card. Yes, you can, because this is where it gets done. Your bottle tops and your other bits and pieces that are in there will go through these holes and be sorted. There's an airstream running through the middle of these, this trommel, that takes any of the loose paper, and that will remove that to another area, another catchment area, where it gets sorted by hand again. Okay? Wet paper is no good for recycling, even though the paper becomes wet in the recycling process. Yeah? It is, when we're sorting it is no good. We've all seen a pack of the Friday ad, or we used to see a pack of the Friday ad outside the newsagents that got soaking wet in the rain. Ever tried to lift it up? It's huge, it was heavy. It's like a brick. Yeah? Wet paper doesn't fly in the wind, it just sticks to everything. It won't get recycled, it will just clog up the stuff. Okay? I love this slide because it's animated and it moves and it's really pretty. Okay, now I'm going to have a quick recap on what we've done. We've picked the recycling up from your property, we've put it in the back of our truck, taken it to the sorting centre, the transfer centre. It's been looked at. Anything that is obvious contamination has been removed. That has been then picked up, taken to Viridor. Viridor lorry comes along, puts it in the conveyor belt, goes through the trommels, and it goes on to its section. What I would like to say here also is that there are other ways to recycle things. Now, lots of people say, what about batteries? What should we do with batteries? Batteries, please, should never, ever, ever, and it's really important, so I'm going to do another ever, go into your recycling or your household waste. Batteries should be returned to whence you bought them. Take them back to the shop. In fact, you don't even have to have bought them from the shop. Every supermarket, every shop that sells the equivalent to 1 packet of batteries a day must, by law, provide a receptacle for you to return your batteries to. Okay? Batteries are the biggest cause of fire within the waste industry. That is household waste and recycling. Now, we are going to incinerate our household waste anyway. We take it to the Energy Reclaim Facility in Newhaven, where it gets burnt. Unfortunately, if there's been a fire within that rubbish, it has to be drenched in water for 2 days before we can burn it. Because, I know that sounds tough, but the machinery will not take stuff that's on fire before it gets to the actual incinerator or the fire point. So please, no batteries in your recycling. Lots of people talk to me about the small waste electrical and electronic equipment. And we've all got them, we've all seen them. Your toasters, your kettles, your microwaves, your electric razors, etc. When you think you're going to replace one of these and you don't want your old one, or when you think that it's broken and you need to get another one, you can take your old broken piece of equipment to a shop, purchase another one, and ask them to put the broken piece into their recycling. They will say, yes, we can do that for you. It's a in-store bring back. So if you go into Next Homeware and buy yourself a nice new kitchen clock, because your old one's broken, take your old one and say, can you recycle that for me? They will say, of course we can. Absolutely no problem. Now, I've done this in several places. Argos was the best one. Walked in with a kettle, broke the kettle at work, left the lid off, boiled dry, alarms went off, everything. Boss wasn't very happy. Anyway, I took the broken kettle into Argos, bought myself a new kettle, or bought the office a new kettle. Said, can you recycle that, please? They said, thank you very much. Yeah, of course we will. We'll do that straight away for you. If the shop that you're taking your bits back to has over 400 square foot of electrical items for sale, you don't have to buy anything. No purchase necessary. So if you go to Curry's with your broken Hoover, can you recycle that for me, please? Okay, of course we can. Thank you very much. Put it on the side. Curry's know this. Curry's know that they have to do this by law. Legislation came in 2021, I think it was. During the pandemic, snuck in under the radar. They know they have to do this, so they're offering, as a bit of an incentive, we'll give you 5% off the next price purchase if you bring back your old, exchange it for an electrical item. They have to do it anyway, but they're going to give you a bit of an incentive. Okay? Again, I know this, took a broken iron in there. Says, yeah, can you put that in your recycling? Yes, no problem. DB Domestics, exactly the same. Oh, Christmas decoration. All the lights have faded on the rope light. Walked in there. Can you put that in your recycling? Yeah, all right. And that was it. No purchase necessary. They will take back your old electrical equipment. It is legislation. Okay? No need to go in your rubbish bin anymore. Gets recycled. Okay. And before anybody asks about it, I'm going to touch on it. And sorry about this. Tetra Paks. Beautiful bit of equipment. Tetra Pak, get your oat milk in it, get your custard, your gravy, whatever you get in your... Square packaging, lovely. Light won't get in, absolutely brilliant. Long life stuff, superb. Drop it, won't break. Beautiful. Single use only. Tetra Pak will say, oh no, we can recycle some of it. So they can recycle the cardboard that's on it. And the cardboard that they recycle that to gets made into toilet rolls. We all need toilet rolls. Well, we do. It's great. It's a good thing. But only one of the materials that package is made up of gets recycled. The rest goes to energy reclaim. And the only place it can be recycled is in Yorkshire. That way, I think. No, that way. In Yorkshire. So the carbon footprint to send something up to Yorkshire, to have it part recycled and then the rest of it burnt, we might as well send it to Newhaven to have it burnt there. Okay. Or energy reclaim, as I like to call it. Right. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, I like this next slide. At the facility in Crayford, a lot of handwork, a lot of hand picking, a lot of people there, 200 staff, 24-hour a day turnover. Yeah, it's working. There's got an awful lot of people there, awful lot of man handling the equipment. There's also a huge, huge chamber that does this automatically. In this chamber, they will have magnets for your ferrous metals. They will have eddy currents coming through your conveyor belts for your non-ferrous metals, your aluminium cans. They will have ballistic separators that shake everything up, and the bigger stuff comes to the top and the smaller stuff goes to the bottom and falls through the gaps at the bottom again. They will have lasers, cameras and infrared beams that can tell what plastic they are looking at, and arms will knock that plastic, knock those bits into their respective chambers. So with something like that, you can see you've got the main chamber coming through, and there is lots and lots and lots of different conveyor belts and arms coming off of that, separating the recycling that we have put into our bins. Eventually, you get to this. All of these are different types of material, all separated, waiting to be bundled up into easily handable pallet sizes. Yeah, all these plastic bottles, lots of them with the tops on. You can leave your tops on your plastic bottles, don't have to take them off. Okay? All of these, and that now is a commodity to be sold by Viridor to the highest bidder. Anybody who wants this can now say, can I have that please? And they go, yeah, of course you can. How much would you like? I'd like 10,000 tonnes of plastic. Yours. Take it away. Don't matter where in the world they are. If they want 10,000 tonnes of plastic, and Viridor has 10,000 tonnes of plastic, they will sell them to them. Okay? This is not what we all saw in the dispatches programme when they went round to places in Europe and Indonesia and saw mountains of rubbish made out to be recycling. This is a product. This is cardboard, paper. These are all products that are ready and waiting to be sold to the highest bidder. Lots of our cardboard goes to Belgium. They've got proper big cardboard mills there. They got the infrastructure. Oh look, plastic bottles. I don't know why I've got this one here, I just like it, just like this. When we are sorting, when the next stage of the sorting comes along, it is exactly the same as the first stage. All your plastic bottles will go down, Viridor will drop them off. There they are. They'll all go through their trommel, get separated up again. Then they get washed. And then magnets and eddy currents will get hold of them and take out anything plastic or metal that's in there. Then they'll get crushed up and put into vats to be sold on as chipped pieces of plastic ready to go back into making whatever the recycling is going to be made into. Be it a car, a drain pipe, a fleece. I mean, most people here are wearing something, I should imagine, that has plastic in it. Tin cans, aerosol cans. Yeah, lots of them. Absolutely fine. You can put your aerosols in with your recycling, as long as they're not full up. Yeah. Please, rinse out. We don't want your dog food, your cat food, smelling, attracting flies, insects, rats, etc. And we certainly don't want it tainting the other recycling within the system before it gets separated. Tin cans go to Warrington, but a tin can, 100% recyclable, as many times as you like. Glass, 100% recyclable, as many times as you like. Glass, again, similar type of route through. You know, there's your magnets and your eddy currents and your crushing up. Your size sorting, lasers to work out what colour glass is what, separated and then taken off to go where it needs to. Made back into jars, bottles, or to go into the construction industry, because after all it is only sand. So it does go into the construction industry. Kitchen waste, we don't have kitchen waste here as yet. There is a bill going through the Parliament at the moment, the Environment Bill. The Environment Bill is looking at food waste for every local authority in the country. It's coming down the line. I don't know how long it's going to be, but we work with Lewes District Council. I alluded to this earlier. Lewes District Council do food waste collection at the moment. We are looking at them to see how they work with it, what vehicles they're working with it, how they can help us as we come towards our food waste collections. The food waste collection, their food waste collection, goes to Halland, just off the upper Dicker, just past the Dicker. I'm sure lots of you would have seen on the right hand side if you're going up a facility called the Woodlands facility. That takes the garden waste, the kitchen waste. It also takes our garden waste. So anything from your garden that you put in your brown bin, that will also go there. That gets put into a vessel, a chamber if you like, a large chamber, about the width of this room here, about 3 times as long. Okay, that has warm air pumped up through the bottom. Every so often a digger will go in, churn it up, and it gets warm air. The enzymes, I think it's enzymes, work on it, break down the garden matter really quickly. That turns into compost. Can't call it compost, unfortunately. We have to call it soil conditioner. So it breaks it into a soil conditioner, and that is sold to local farmers and at garden centres to members of the public. So you can go and buy your own garden waste back, if you like, as a soil conditioner. So there you go. You can find out a lot about what I've been saying at the Valuably YouTube channel, Valuably East Sussex County Council YouTube, East Sussex County Council YouTube waste. That will show you what happens to your rubbish, how the site at Newhaven works, and Viridor will show you how the recycling works. They've got recycling plants across the country. Their goal, their dream, Viridor's dream is that 100% of the plastic that they collect is recycled within the country, which is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm not sure how close they are at that, but they are building a new plastic processing plant next to their material reclaim facility in Avonmouth. They have one in Kent already, so they are investing heavily in the infrastructure for recycling within this country. As I said earlier, it doesn't matter where our products go. Once it is separated out, it is a product. And the last slide is, thank you very much for watching. Are there any questions? Do not put anything down the toilet or into the sewers. That shouldn't be there. That's absolutely a given. We have Victorian sewers in this town. They're not as good as they once were. And we've got a growing town, 110,000 people, I think I said earlier. We've got more properties growing up around the edge of the town. Wealdon want to build on our borders all the way around. Please, only the stuff that is designed to go into the sewer system should be put in the sewer system. It's a good point and well made. Thank you. So, if you, I can assume that you're at a block of flats then, and where we used to have in the blocks of flats, we would say that you had a bin for tin cans, and you had a bin for paper, a bin for cardboard, and a bin for glass, and everybody separated their stuff out. This was before we went commingled. Now, lots of these blocks of flats still have that set up, and people are using it. Yes, you can put your lids and your tops into your glass bin. In fact, you shouldn't really have dedicated bins at all. As an answer to your question, can you put the tops and bits in? Yes, you can, because your eddy currents and magnets will take them off of the glass. No food at all going into the recycling bin. No food at all. No food. No food. Food is not a recyclable. Food is an undesirable material, a contaminant, as if you like. So please, no food in the recycling. Some people say to me, they don't like the fact that I say rinse out your jars, your cans, etc. What about the oils that are in there? Yeah, so you've got an oily fish or something, and you don't want to be putting oils down the drains. Piece of tablecloth, kitchen paper, just wipe it out. Put that in the bin. Tissue's no good for recycling either, by the way. Most tissues are used, so please don't put tissue thinking it's a paper into your recycling. You have a household waste bin, and hopefully you have a recycling bin, and I'm sure lots of people here will have the brown garden waste bin, and when food waste comes along, you will have a exterior caddy for your food waste, and I presume you will have an interior caddy for your food waste. Although it is mandatory, or it will be mandatory for us to give it to you, your food waste, you don't have to participate. It's like you don't have to recycle. We cannot make you recycle, okay? We can't make you do your garden waste, and we can't make you do any food waste. It is a product that we offer. The streets, your Langley roads, your Pemsley roads, your Ceylon places where there is no storage for the bins, it is a conundrum, and it has been ever since we've had a wheelie bin in the town. There is these big houses that got turned into flats. My grandparents had 68 Langley Road when I was a nipper back in the 60s. I know I don't look old enough, but back in the 60s, I used to play in the back garden there. There was a builder's merchant at the back of us, massive wall, so it was a bit of a square. No way to get round the back of the property. So my granddad used to take the bin out through the house, through the basement, out, and put it onto the street. Bin man collected it, and he took it back in, and he did that every week. But we were lucky, because we had the whole house. Somebody who's living on the top floor with no land, nowhere to keep a bin, has to put their rubbish somewhere. So they're going to come down, and they're going to have a bin where the only place it can be, which is on the street. It is not desirable to have all of these bins on the street. It doesn't make the place look lovely. But it is the only option that there is at the moment. If we were a unilateral authority, brilliant, and we had the roads as well as the pavements and everything else, we could go, yeah, we'll lose a car parking space there, we'll lose one here, and we'll put bins a bit like they do in Brighton. That's one idea, isn't it? You ever walk around Kemp Town recently? Have a look at how beautiful those bins work on the streets? Not the best. Not the best idea. One big bin instead of lots of little bins. Still has its own issues. So I wish I did know. I wish we could all say that's what we need to do. That's how we need to do it. Yeah. Do we need to say that every morning there's going to be a bin collection down that road? So that there's no bins, there's only one or two bins. People filling the one or two bins up on every morning. We can't do that, that's not viable. Yeah. Do we sink bins into the ground like they do in some of these Mediterranean countries? Yeah, beautiful idea. Marvellous. Absolutely brilliant. I wouldn't like to dig down 10 foot in this town. Yeah. Where you're going to hit all the wires and all the cables and all the infrastructure that we bury under the ground because we don't have earthquakes. Yeah, we bury it all under the ground because we don't want to see it running up around our streets. The only thing we've got around our streets are telephone lines. So, Victorian sewers down there, everything. We can't go into the ground. We can't go into the road. We have bins, we have a space on the pavement. I wish I knew the answer. I don't know the answer. We've looked at it. It's expensive to do anything apart from what we've got now. Sorry. Now, blister packs, statins. Oh, I'm on statins. Told you I was 16 and earlier. For my heart, they've given me me statins. They come in foil on foil. Love them. Yep, we like those. We like them. They're brilliant. Foil on foil. Put them in your recycling. But when you get foil onto the plastics, like most of them, like your ibuprofen, cocodamol for those who are in real pain, those are no good. They are a dual material, very much like your Tetra Paks being dual materials. And your crisp packets and your cat food pouches, any dual material, any material that is made up of one, two or more products is not accepted within the curbside recycling. But that doesn't mean to say we can't recycle them. You said yourself, take them to Superdrug. Only Superdrug pharmacies. There's only one of them in East Sussex, and that's in West Street in Brighton. A long way away. Okay? You could, if you wanted to, and you didn't want to go that far, go to Newhaven Library on a Thursday morning. See Rachel and Adam. They set up a stall there for bring and buy. Well, it's swap actually. You don't have to buy anything. You can bring in stuff that you don't want and take stuff that you think you might like. Yeah? You can also take in your pill packs and give them to them. They'll say thank you very much and they'll take them. And then they'll take them to Brighton for you because they run over to Brighton once a month or once a week to do that. And then they post them all through the letterbox. People abuse that. The pharmacies in Brighton used to just have a bin where people would come in with bags. And then suddenly they found out that people were putting other stuff into the bags. Back to the recycling on the streets. It's no good. You have to make sure that everything that people are doing it properly and doing it right. I know the blister packs that you want to recycle, or you like to recycle, they get sent to a pharmaceutical company in France. What they do with them, I don't know. But the crisp packets, they go back up north to Leicestershire, I believe, to the Walker's company up there. What they do with them, I don't know. There are dual materials. They must have some way of being able to reuse them somehow. People take them back. Whether they get reused as plastic bags or whether they go to some other items, I don't know. All I know is that the stuff that we take is of a single product. Any dual, 2, 3, 4 material products can go to Tesco's. Tesco's are really good. Tesco's take your water filters. They take your ink cartridges. Yeah, so take them back. Well, I think Waitrose do water filters as well. But they take them back to these places. Every supermarket will have a stand to say what you can take back. You can go online, like you say, and look at the TerraCycle, T-E-R-R-A cycle, TerraCycle. TerraCycle are brilliant. They are an online platform, an online forum that has all of the alternative ways to recycle, all of the difficult to recycle bits, like your blister packs, like your razors, your shaving stuff. They've got a link on their website to Gillette, who will send you out an envelope. And you can put all your old disposable razors and shaving stuff in there and then send it off to them. I think it's free of charge. It says free of charge. It says free all the way through it, which is brilliant. And it doesn't matter whether it's Gillette or not. You can still send it to them. Okay? the eco groups will have this information. I go out to eco fairs and stalls and fetes and everything else, and where I can, to let the people know. And hopefully some of you will receive my Triple R bulletin. I write a bulletin that's emailed out to 17,000 people, only out of the 110,000 in the town, 17,000 people. I do that once a month, where I put this information into an email that gets sent out. Whether people read it or not, I don't know. But it gets sent out to 1,700 people across the town. 17,000 people, sorry, across the town. I try to get this information out as much as possible. TerraCycle are great. I'll sing the praises of TerraCycle as much as I can. There are alternatives to curbside recycling. And we need to be aware that just because my company doesn't collect them, it doesn't mean to say they can't be recycled. Yeah? Somebody said to me the other week, they said, oh, plastic bags, you can't recycle them. I've got a prop. Hold on, 1 second. Hovis bread bag. Somebody said to me that you cannot recycle plastic bags. We don't take them. We do take them. We do take plastic bags. Sorry about your mic, Chris. But we don't like the plastic bags that you can't stretch. We do like plastic bags that you can stretch. Could you try and stretch that for me? Just possibly at the little top, there. Just, it's easy to stretch, yeah? If you can stretch a plastic bag, then put it in your recycling. What's this one? This is a pita bread bag, right? And I'm going to ask you, sir, can you stretch that easily? Just try it. If you can't, no, it is not recyclable. So, your bags, like your plastic bags like this, yeah, I'm sure you've all gone to Tesco's or Waitrose and got your onions. Those bags stretch. Quite easy, just stretch it. Stretch easily, put them in the recycling. Doesn't stretch, sorry, it's no good. Why we have so many different types of plastic bags, I don't know. It's a manufacturer point of bit here. If we stopped buying all of these plastic bags, then the manufacturer would be going, what's wrong with that product? Yeah? Now, we say that put shredded paper, if you've got a shredding machine at home, put that in a clear plastic bag or a transparent bag so we can see through it. If you use a black bag, a black plastic bag, now a black bag is a rubbish bag. We all know that. It's the universal recognition sign of rubbish is a black plastic bag. We will not take a recycling bin that has a black plastic bag in it. As far as the collection crew are concerned, it is a rubbish bag. Okay? If it's in a Tesco's white carrier bag that you can see through and they can see it's recycling, they will take it. The Trommel, way back here, will break open bags when they get spun over. But, as a rule of thumb, please do not put any of your recycling into a bag. We ask for it not to happen. If the occasional bag goes through, so be it, as long as it's not black. We don't like black bags. Black bag is a rubbish bag, and we all know that. It's difficult. Why can't we just put everything into the local council's bin, which is what you're saying, and then let the sorters sort it out at the far end? It's because the partner that we've chosen, okay, and I'm saying we, and I'll explain a little bit more in a minute, will only take those mandatory 5 materials. Sainsbury's, Tesco, supermarkets, wherever it is, may have or will have a different recycling stream that they are feeding into. Maybe the recycling stream are paying them, maybe they're paying the recycling stream, I don't know. But we will only collect those 5 main materials and we won't collect anything else. And if it says take and put it back here for recycling, then that is the place to do it. We will class it as a contaminant. Why it is, it's because there are different recycling streams available to different people, and Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, etc. would have worked out a partnership agreement with that firm. Electrical waste, yes?
Is it a WEEE?
It's waste, electrical and electronic equipment.
And they should take it back.
Yep. If you go online, if you surf it, look at the government website, put in WEEE and look at all the in-store return, and it will tell you all about it. Okay. Yeah, well, so the Household Waste and Recycling Centre at St Philip's Avenue, absolutely brilliant place. I like the fact that they've changed their entrance in, and there's a little roadway to stop you queuing on the road. Used to be a nightmare down that part of the St Philip's Avenue. It's brilliant. You can take almost everything in there free of charge. I mean, almost everything. Yeah? Builder's waste, no, they charge you for that, I think. Asbestos, I think they charge you for that. I think they charge you for that. But sorry? Tyres, yeah, and tyres. So, but apart from that, everything, fridges, freezers, cookers, everything can go into there. They won't charge you. You're even allowed to take your vans in 2 days a week. Yeah, everything there will be recycled as much as it can. Hence the reason they separate it all out into these different chambers. They have electrical bins that they want that you can fill up. Yeah, they have wood over here. They have metal over there. They have a shop where they will sell anything that looks like it's got a week left in its life. Yeah. And they got people that scavenge the place going, oh, can I have that? Thank you. Anyway, it is a brilliant place. It is a great place. Don't go down on a Saturday morning. You will be stuck in the traffic. Yeah. But you have the scares. You have the, oh, they charge you now for taking stuff into St Philip's Avenue. Oh, those naughty East Sussex County Council people, they charge you for everything. God, there's going to be more fly tipping. There hasn't been more fly tipping since they started charging. Yeah? The naughty boys that fly tip will fly tip. Yeah? These professional fly tippers, if you like, they will fly tip. They will always fly tip. Yeah? So your best thing is, and I think I allude to it in one of these leaflets, it says, check your, what's it say? Only use licensed waste carriers and ask to see their details. Not only that, you should always get a receipt as well. So if you're having something taken away, sorry, Robert, I've distracted from St Philip's here. If you're having something taken away, and the first man said that would be £87.50, please, and that's including VAT, and the second man goes, I'll do it for 25 quid. The bloke who's doing it for 25 quid, you've got to question what's happening to it. Regardless, always get a receipt. Always ask to see their waste carrier's licence. It will be the size of a credit card. It will have a picture of them on the face, on the front of it. It will be a waste carrier's licence, and it will have a number. If you can, jot that number down. Take a photograph of it on your phone, if you've got a phone that can take photographs. Jot the number down, and then ask for a receipt when you pass them over your hard-earned cash. Say, can I have a receipt, please? So you've got their number, you've got a photograph of them, you've got a receipt. That's your duty of care. Done. Like I said, when we pick up your recycling in the morning from outside my house, or my recycling from outside my house, once that's gone into the back of the lorry, that's your duty of care over with that recycling. It is now down to us to look after. Up until that point, it is still yours. Even if you put it in your bin, and you put your bin out, it is still yours to look after, to care for. So if it gets blown over or knocked over by the dog that's running amok in the street, it is still yours. If you haven't got a receipt and or the copy of that waste carrier's licence, mainly the receipt, it is still your rubbish, regardless of what they do with it. So you've paid them to take it away, you need a receipt, that is you covered, that's your covered. Those people now can go and do what they want. If they fly tip it and it comes back to you because it's a sofa and you've left one of your envelopes down the side of it, not knowing it was there, somebody goes, oh, no, Mr. Smith, St John's Road, off they come, knock on your door, this is your sofa, we know it's your sofa, it's got your envelope in there with your name and address on it. They go, oh, I paid man £25 to take that away. Have you got proof of that? Well, no. It's yours, your responsibility. Your duty of care is you must get a receipt. Yeah? And if somebody's doing it for too cheap, then it is too cheap. Yeah, honestly, it is too cheap. St Phillips Avenue, absolutely brilliant place. Take your rubbish down there, take your recycling down there. They have garden, they have electrical, they have plastics, they have everything you can possibly want. They have more to offer than the council can pick up from your curbside, and more to offer and are closer to you than TerraCycles. Sean said that I go into schools and do a presentation, a talk. It's pretty much the same as this talk, only dumbed down a bit. The kids are very, very, very good. But one of the questions that I give to the kids, and one of the statements I say, if you don't want it, don't buy it. You don't need it. So you stop buying the stuff that you don't really need, that you don't really want. Think about what you're buying and how you're buying it. If you see loose carrots there, or a packet of carrots here, much better to buy loose carrots in the amount that you want, rather than a packet of carrots where you're going to throw some food waste away and it's going to come in a plastic bag. If we stop buying the plastic, they'll stop manufacturing it. It's a dream. Let's hope that dream works. Plastics, what I will say about plastics, if you can squash your plastic, we can recycle it. Yeah, so your food trays, your bottles, plastics that you can squash, lovely. If you can't squash your plastic, like me handling my cup here, no good for recycling, unfortunately. Get yourself a reusable coffee cup. Cheaper coffee when you go to places, love it. Yeah. Get yourself a recyclable water bottle. And I take this everywhere with me. I used to give them out to my volunteers. I also do a lot with volunteering as well, by the way. If any of you want to do a volunteer litter pick, come and see me. I'm your man. I give out equipment like it's going out of fashion. Okay, so reusable water bottles, reusable coffee cups, reusable everything, please. Yeah, take your own knife and fork rather than using a plastic one. I think they're going to stop plastic knives and forks soon. Yes. Yes. They're going to stop balloons. Hate balloons, love balloons. Oh, I love balloons. Hate balloons. Single-use plastic. What a dreadful thing to have. Don't ever let them go up in the air. Ooh. Anyway, I've written some litter picking guidance for Eastbourne Borough Council. I've also written it for Lewes District, but that's beside the point. For Eastbourne Borough Council, that tells you all about what we would like you to do and what we call a no-no. Yeah. And in part of that, it says when your bag's full, tie it up, tighten a knot, and leave it by the nearest litter bin. It will be picked up on the normal rounds. So if you're going to go walk up Beachy Head, and you've walked up there and you've got to Warren Hill and you think, oh, I can't carry this bag anymore, leave it by the bin at Warren Hill, should be picked up. If you find yourself at a place where there are no bins, and you'll think to yourself, I can't drag this down, I don't know where the nearest bin is, it is full, tie it up in a knot, take a photograph of it, and email me, send me a text, say, I've left it there, can you have it picked up? I'll get one of the crew to pick it up. Absolutely no problem at all. The infrastructure in this country is getting better for recycling. And I hope that Viridor come through with their promise of 100% of the plastic recycled in the country, which would be brilliant. Then we just have to get the paper and cardboard and we'll be